I am with Jim O'Neill, so we're going to go directly, not to Russia, we'll come to Russia in a moment, but talk about Greece, because Greece obviously the focus of a lot of investors today. Let me ask you simply this cabinet reshuffle that we're waiting on could come at any moment now. The timing of it, some investors have found it a bit unnerving. Is the timing quite poor?
Well, I mean, the whole thing is so front and centre. I've just come here from Japan for 2 days, and that's all everybody was talking about there. I mean, it's, you know, I can't help but being a little bit facetious about it. It's almost like some kind of special theatre for... now the football season's ended, they're kind of like, what else can we... Oh, why don't we have a bit of theatre here instead?
If the finance minister comes back as a result of this cabinet reshuffle, can he still do, you know, the carry through these austere measures that everyone expects of him?
Well, I don't know. I mean, it looks... My interpretation, and I emphasise I've just come from being in Asia for 3 days, is I think there's enough there to support them in the near future. There's been enough argy-bargy going on between the IMF and the German government and the, you know, everybody. Right. Everybody short of Alex Ferguson's got it, you know. So I think there's enough to get them through, but whether it can be sustained without going for the inevitable, I don't know.
Sorry, should Greece just say, you know, the heck with it and default at this point?
Well,
wouldn't it be better?
I mean, what seems clear to me that from a broader European perspective, they've got to get this Greek thing behind. Greek debt as a share of GDP, and indeed as the amount of exposure that banks have to it, is not that big a deal. And the longer it drags on, the worse the risk to other countries is getting. I think I saw that the Spanish market had a bad day yesterday, and it's all centred around this Greek thing. So somebody needs to do something pretty soon, because the consequences of it are slowly getting worse, and it all seems to me a bit unnecessary.
How painful would default be? I mean, how painful is suicide?
Well, I don't think it's quite. You know, it's over a year after the Greek thing first dominated the scene, and
you don't think it's such a big deal?
I don't think in itself it's such a big deal. It's seen in a global economic sense. It's not a big deal. It's only a big deal if the contagion gets deep to Spain and Italy. So I don't know why the European policymakers just can't bite the bullet and get on with it and stop all these games going on between them.
I was going to ask you about that.
The Greeks might say, you know what, we're sick of you guys treating us like kids. We're going to just do what we want to do. Well,
I was going to ask you about the European politicians. A lot of them say there will be no default. I mean, I was here in 1998 when Russian politicians were saying there'll be no default. You think they're being sincere?
Well, you know, at the end of the day, it's going to be if they're not careful, the Greeks will determine the answer to that, not them. I mean, you know, it's the choice of the Greeks whether to or not. I mean, our debt, your problem sort of thing. So.
We got like 30 seconds left. Look, markets, you said sell in May, sell in June as well?
Well, it's been that way so far, hasn't it? It does seem to me that the mood has got so negative about everything. I mean, people now worrying about a big slowdown in China. You know, maybe a bit more, but you know, I don't think this is the start of a major thing that's going to go on throughout the rest of the year. But it could be that it carries on for a bit of the rest of the summer, that's for sure.
All right, we're going to have to leave it there. Jim O'Neill, Goldman Sachs, thank you very much for joining us.